We're bombing Iran already. And people are like, what the hell? Like, what are we doing? Like, we just went into a country and started bombing it again? Like, again on this country, but this is like twice there, but once over there. Like, we've invaded another country and bombed it. Or we've incurred, it's been an incursion. Anyway, but Lindsey Graham's sitting there going, listen, Israel needs us to stand with them, and we need to go into Lebanon, and we need to occupy Beirut and Lebanon, and we need to fight alongside Israel for this. This is the most important thing in America. You go, what? What? We haven't even finished with Iran, and you want us to occupy Lebanon? And Israel, for what it's worth, totally capable of handling Lebanon. Welcome to Loaded Talk. I am your congressman, the third most popular candidate to ever be. I am Frank, and along with me as always...
What's up, planet Earth? I'm Bean.
I'm tired, Charlie. Did some physical therapy, Charlie. It's tiring. I have a boo-boo. Trying to un-boo-boo my boo-boo. There are things going on. Last week, we were talking about Bill Gates and Epstein, and there was just, they're still talking about Iran. And, well, they did something about it. First little breaking news, I guess. We'll, pull this guy up here. Pull this grand website. Yeah, hold on a second. There we go. Now I'm beautiful. Donald Trump, pleased to announce that the highly respected U.S. Senator from the great state of Oklahoma, Mark Wayne Mullen, that's too many. He's a serial killer, obviously, will become the United States Secretary of Homeland Security, DHS, effective March 31st, 2026. The current secretary, Kristi Noem, who has served us well and has had numerous and spectacular results, especially on the border, will be moving to the special envoy for the Shield of the Americas, our new security initiative in the Western Hemisphere. We are announcing on Saturday, they're announcing it in Doral, I guess because it's close to his golf course. I thank Kristi for her service at, quote, Homeland. So Kristi Noem will no longer be the face of Homeland Security. This other guy, Mark Wayne Mullen, will. Do a quick little Google, Mark Wayne Mullen. I remember a Senator Mullen from Oklahoma, but I can't place him. I can't remember if he's... Oh, that guy, yeah. Hold on. Worth it. Look at him. Look at that smiling. Look, he's got a gun. He's got a gun! Let's read about him. Biography. Successful business owner, working cow-calf rancher, and proud husband of 28 years to Mrs. Kristi Mullen. Together, the two are parents to 6 wonderful children, Jace, Jim, Andrew, blah, 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 Ivy. Who cares about his high school?
6 children.
He was a plumber. Oh, wait. Kristi, his bride, postponed studies to save the family business. Mullen Plumbing. Wait a second. Why? If she took your last name, then your business was failing?
Oh, he fell ill? Oh, his father fell ill.
So, I guess maybe at this point, at the same time, I graduated a wrestling scholarship until the age of 20 years. Oh, I guess he was on his wrestling scholarship in college when his future bride? Recent bride? Oh, yeah, recent bride. Whatever. I don't care. He founded numerous other successful companies ranging from Mullen Environmental to Rowan's Steakhouse, the latter a bustling restaurant in the neighboring town of Stillwell, named for Kristi's family. All right. I'm bored already. Anyway, this guy is going to be, I don't know, arresting illegals and stuff and whatever else Department of Homeland Security does these days. Yeah. So, There you go. I think Kristi Noem rode the Trump wave a little hard. I think that feeling of the first 100 days or so, maybe 90 days of just untouchable, where it's like we are now we are royalty. I think she may have enjoyed government services perhaps a bit too much. She may have not been under control in her spending. Just maybe.
I think DHS also approves FEMA payouts now.
Okay.
I believe I read that they put holds on any questionable payouts.
Like all of them. All right. So there's the breaking news. This guy, well, if he's a sitting Senate, well, it's Oklahoma. They'll just, I think, Senator, do you do the special election or you just appoint somebody? You do an appointment, which it used to be you would elect your representative because they represent your community, and you'd elect your governor of your state because that was very important who your governor was, and then your governor would just pick the two finest gentlemen that represented the state the most and send them to D.C. And so, you might have back-to-back governors that go, well, Charlie's still the best choice here. And
Thank you.
yeah, well, there you go. But there is something, I get this whole, I know democracy, election kind of thing, right? But it's like, when you watch politics as it is today in this constant circus, not that the governor election isn't a circus, but you do just wonder, and, people just be backstabbing and politicking and all that. But you do wonder if there's something to it where you go all right, one of my duties as governor is to pick basically the lobbyist for the state of Florida, which now I guess we just hire lobbyists too. But you go these are the two people who can fight the most to get Florida's agenda done in the federal government. Because that's what you're doing. You're just hey, our state's got needs. The communities, the representatives, they're the voice of the people. And so, you can bring up whatever, fight and squabble. But the state, state has some needs. We need whatever, a little slice of that federal money or whatever it is. And so you send your people up there that are there to fight for your state. That's their whole job. And as soon as the governor's gone, they might not have a job anymore. Now you get a guy up there, gets a 6-year term, gets elected 12 years, if he gets reelected. And he's there to, represents the state, but not really anymore. You still hear, representatives talk about, their district. Senators, kind of. But senators are there just to talk about federal business. It's all, they're the steady voice of doing DC's business. Because they got 6 years. They can, they can be a more steady influence. But it's not at all about benefiting the state. So it's one of those things where we took focus once again away from the people and put it to the swamp. And we're draining that swamp, Charlie. Draining the swamp.
Oh yeah. Swamp Thing showed up.
Yeah. But we drained him out. And now there's no more swamp, and DC is small. We did it.
Congratulations.
Donald J. Trump? What's it? Is it John? What's his middle name?
I honestly don't know.
Josiah? Donald Josiah Trump.
That's perfect.
He went up there and he said, drain the swamp. And they did. Everyone's not corrupt now. So anyway, that's a good success. All right. Speaking of campaign promises kept, no new wars, Charlie. No new wars.
Correct.
Over the weekend, you know what we were doing outside of not being at war with Iran and blowing them up? We were also not doing war in Ecuador.
Oh, yes. I did hear about this.
Now, this was a joint operation. We weren't fighting against Ecuador. We were fighting with Ecuador against Ecuadorian drug cartels. But with the military in a foreign land. You know.
This sounds familiar.
Yeah. So, we're doing that too. Anyway, no new wars, though. No new wars. All right, so,
It's defensive in design.
the weapons of mass destruction, that is these kilos of cocaine. Because they're like, oh, we found so much coke and money. Yeah, I bet you did. That's kind of what they're all about, cocaine and money. It's like, all right, well, I guess thanks for saving our lives or something. I don't know. They were the ones that had like the ace of spades on the packs. It's like, ooh, you see those floating off the coast of Florida sometime. Like they're getting them up here. But not fentanyl.
Weird.
Yep, that's still China and Mexico. We did have that little skirmish with Mexico. Or, well, we didn't have the skirmish, but they started blowing each other, or they, started blowing a bunch of stuff up. Until we started blowing up Iran, and then they just stopped. Did you notice that? Did we just stop paying attention, or did they stop blowing up stuff?
Well, I know they took out a big cartel head by following his lady friend, and
Yeah.
but that's the last I heard of it.
Yeah, so they followed the lady friend until they had a tryst, and then they took him out, and then the cartel was pissed, and so they started like blowing up a bunch of cabs and blowing up a bunch of stuff, and you're like, uh-oh, like, and like there's Americans that were like trapped at these hotels, and you go, well, are we gonna get involved with this? Like, help these Americans get home? Are we about to go in there and fight cartels? Like, what's about to happen? And then it was like, oh, we bombed Iran. I guess that's a response. So I guess everyone's home safely.
The last I heard, Air Canada was able to land back in the airport and start pulling people out, but
Air Canada, huh?
yeah, Air Canada was the last to stop flying in, and then the first to come back in. I don't know.
Come on, guys. We can't let Canadians save our people. Ugh. We beat them in hockey. They don't get to save us in Mexico. Like, what is this? We America first or America last, Charlie?
Well, I don't know if they were just picking up Canadians.
That's what I'm saying. If they're saving maybe they were just picking up Canadians. Yeah,
Jerks.
a bunch of jerks. Probably. That's probably what they were doing. Probably women with babies saying, please take me back to Des Moines. And they kicked them in the face and poured syrup on the babies. Because they're jerks, Charlie. That's why. Canadian jerks. That's what they do.
We just started this episode. We're already at that level. I love it.
Yeah. Anyway. So with Iran, it's a very important war, Charlie. Very important.
Not war.
No, sorry. It's not a war. It's precision. Very precise. So, what is your understanding of why it was time for this precision joint military action, non-war, not combat?
Well, I heard multiple reasons. The first being, once again, Iran was a week away from having a nuclear warhead.
2 weeks away.
Or
1 week.
I think it fluctuates between a week and 2 weeks.
Yeah, okay. That's that one sure came back, which was impressive because of the 12-day war or whatever it was. Like, we went in there and Israel went in there, they did a bunch of stuff, and they go, hey, look, you need to drop a couple bombs and we'll call this thing a day. We went, all right, you say we're going to take out all their nuclear capability? All right. And so we dropped our bombs and we went, damn, that was effective. They have nothing left. Nothing left. And then, less than a year later, we go, well, 2 more weeks, and they've got a nuke. And they're building ballistic missiles, and they're going to put the nuke on the ballistic missile. Now, for any of our vast array of fans who've listened to our entire catalog, they might remember when we had old Salty Jimmy, our Middle East expert, on to talk Yemen and Iran, all sorts of stuff. And he was mentioning how Iran, basically what they would do is they'd keep a stockpile of like 60% enriched uranium, which is not enough for a missile, but it is at a point where you need 2 weeks worth of enrichment to get it to weapons grade. So they'd have a stockpile of it. And so that's where this 2 weeks away thing came, and why we've been hearing 2 weeks away for our entire lives is because that's kind of their bargaining chip. The Ayatollah, what did they say? May Allah bless whatever. Merciful Allah bless his. They don't say bless his soul. What do they say? Because now he's dead. They can't say, because it used to be like
May Allah bless him. I don't know what.
May Allah bless. I think that is. May Allah. Anyway, whatever. It's not.
Or may he be blessed by Allah. I don't remember. Yeah.
I think may Allah. Whatever. Either way, he did. Just saying. Maybe if you prayed a little harder.
Right when I was taking a sip.
Sorry about that. Just saying, maybe you didn't believe strong enough, Ayatollah. Just saying, maybe you had some side pieces in there that weren't halal. Maybe you enjoyed some food that wasn't. Maybe you were eating a bunch of pork chops and stuff, and your time had come. What was I talking about?
The reasons.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, the Ayatollah had declared a fatwa against nuclear weapons as well. And it was one of those things. He found them to be an unholy thing. He goes, hey, this is not something we should do. Like, this is wrong according to Allah. Now, I'm sure there's a carve out, especially if you're like an extreme Islamist, where you believe in Islamic supremacy. There's probably a carve out to, you can do it to the unfaithful swine out there, and it'll be all right. But it seems like this whole decades and decades of us being at 2 weeks seems to show that Jimmy's assessment that this is just sort of their only way to negotiate because no one wants to negotiate with them. And a lot in America and Israel have wanted to destroy them for 50 years. And so this is their one going, how about we negotiate with this? So we went back in and we said they had 2 weeks to go.
Well, then they also said that it was a preemptive strike because Iran was going to attack Israel and or us.
Yeah. And I think they said it was preemptive, but they also said there was no imminent threat. There was something weird like that. It was like both. They go, we had to do it because they were going to attack us. I mean, there's no plan to attack us, but they were going to attack us. And this was our window. We have to do it now, or they would attack us, and probably with nuclear weapons. Not that they had the enriched uranium, and not that they had plans or that we have intelligence of a plan, but this was our window. Yeah. All right. What are the other reasons? Was there something else? I feel like they've just been talking around this don't want them to have a nuclear weapon thing. Which it's like, okay, we all agree. We've never wanted them to have a nuclear weapon. So why did we do this right now?
Did they hit a ship?
After.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't know who actually hit the ship, but the claim is them.
We'll get to that. But yeah, so we blew up a bunch of stuff. So we got the Ayatollah, we got his family and his grandchildren, because we blew up his compound. We got a lot of the top tiers of leadership. They don't have a lot of that left. Apparently, we took out a desalinization plant, which is not going to be great for people having water to drink.
Well, they had shut it off anyways, though, to try and starve their people, right? Not starve, but
yeah, thirst. I guess maybe, but now it's blowed up.
Because that's what BB was selling, was water. Like, we'll give you water.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But we got all sorts of stuff. We did. What did we blow up? A school or a hospital? It was like a school or it was a hospital, a pediatric. Either way, we killed lots of children. Or Israel killed lots of children. I don't think it was us. I think it was them. And they said, they go, yeah, that's kind of what we do. They go, the terrorists were hiding in it. Don't worry. Here, sprinkle some crack on it. But yeah, so it's been interesting, you know. So I think everyone can agree that as a Westerner and a non-Muslim, Iran is a bunch of buttholes. You know, like the leadership of Iran, bunch of buttholes. Death to America, all this stuff. You know, funding these proxy militaries all over the place that do attacks on us and on other people, and it's, you know, bunch of buttholes. The Ayatollah being gone, no one's really shedding a tear for him or the next couple layers. Now, hopefully, the next guy that takes over isn't worse, because we don't have great success in overthrowing governments. Apparently, we've been concerned about Iraq, about the leader of Iraq. It's like we're concerned. Oh, I thought we solved that problem in Iraq. Like, oh no, we're worried that with all these like Sunnis fleeing Iran or whatever, that they're basically the head of Iraq's gonna swoop in and fill some power vacuum and be horrible, you know.
Great.
Yeah, who knows if it's gonna happen? But but we spent 20 years solving this problem, and you're saying the guy when we left, the guy we left in charge, we're like, he's a problem. Like, he wasn't a problem when he had a gun to his head, our gun, but we moved the gun. Now he's a problem. I was like, well, we're doing good. We're doing good. Yeah. So on the one hand, we've done some very effective strikes. We have taken out some important military installations. We've taken out some important people. In response, Iran kind of just was scattering missiles hither, thither, and yon, striking Aramco in Saudi Arabia, Oman. I'm going to say, I don't know, did they hit Qatar?
Yes.
Yeah. And so there's a few countries in there we go, well, probably shouldn't start an infinity front war. That seems like too many fronts. Like maybe, like it's all places we have bases. And of course, in Bahrain, they did hit, I think that's where the deaths came from, but they hit a naval base in Bahrain, and we did lose four Americans, I think, from the Bahrain base, but I don't know if that's come out or if it's just, I know that got struck, and I know Central Command said we've lost 4 people. So I assume that's where that came from. They don't seem to be overly precise. I know that they're taking credit for a drone attack on the USS Abraham Lincoln. I haven't really seen much about that, but they're saying they hit it with a drone. As far as what that means, I don't know. Trump is saying he's not saying boots on the ground is off the table. Boots on the ground is on the table. People are suggesting maybe we can even send National Guard over there. Get more boots on the ground. You know?
The National Guard.
Well, on top of everybody. We're going to get so many boots, that we'll have to start shifting National Guard around. Surely that won't happen. But yeah, so no new wars. That's going good. And the region is not necessarily stable right now. So I don't know. What are some initial thoughts you got?
I hope you were getting. You already read my mind.
Is this what you were going to talk about?
That's exactly.
Okay. Well, let's talk about some fun weapons that we've been using, because it's not just our airplanes. And we have been using those, and we made them go big boom. We shot stuff from the sea as well, that also big boom. They did trick us. They did Looney Tunes us. Did you see how I ran Looney Tunes us? They took, they had an airfield, and they had life-size painted in black the shape of airplanes.
You're kidding me.
No, because but from a satellite, you go, is it a shadow? Is it like the shadow of the airplane? And so we hit the one in the middle, and so it's just this, this crater with these two painted, like with a crater next to me. You go, oh, I see what you did. So they Looney Tunes us, wacky Iranians. I don't even know if they have an Ayatollah anymore. I mean, Ayatollah is like a religious leader, so I guess there's lots of Ayatollahs, but not necessarily the supreme leader. I don't know. They have a president or a prime minister, too, that basically has no power. The Ayatollah says everything, or does everything. All right. But, we also use freaking laser beams. Laser weapons deployed in Operation Epic Fury as Space Force stops Iran's missiles in their tracks. Look at that plane falling. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. We had, 3 planes crash in Kuwait or something?
Yep.
And they weren't shut down or shot down. I
think one was, at least.
I think they said none of them were shot down. There was just 3 plane crashes.
Huh.
Yeah. That seems unusual. All in Kuwait, too. So I don't know what the hell that's all about. Iranian weapons debris is blown to pieces or mechanically crippled keep dropping from the Middle East sky. For that, we can thank heat-seeking satellite, military-grade malware, and radar jamming software, all made in America. You think all that software is made in America?
Military-grade malware. What makes it military grade? Just curious.
I don't know, but I know one of the top what's the name of that software? The top software for taking over someone's phone, which I'd probably call that military grade. It's espionage grade, but that's not made in America. Do you know where that's made, Charlie?
Well, considering the guy keeps claiming that everyone should appreciate the tech from Israel.
That's correct. What is it called?
Please tell me it's great.
No, it's nothing great.
Oh.
It's a cool name. I mean, you go, all right. It's gonna come to me later. Not Prism. I don't know. It's on version 2 now, but it's gonna come to me later. It's a nice name for technology, but it's the first software you had to kind of implant it. And so this dude Gavin DeBecker was talking about, he thinks version 2.0, basically if you know someone's phone number, you can kind of just force inject it or something, which is great.
Yay.
Yeah. So hooray. Anyway, all this was made in America apparently. For that. All right. New technology, laser weaponry, has also been deployed against Iran as part of Operation Epic Fury. The Post says, Operation Epic Fury. I don't know. Who does this? Who does this? Oh, that's pretty cool. Azadi, a.k.a. the Freedom Tower in Tehran. The thing is, with all this war in the Middle East stuff, they've got, there's really cool, architecture and stuff over there. Have you ever done Google Maps on, Mecca and Medina and stuff? There's some really cool stuff. The Saudis got some cash, so they built some epic stuff. Anyway, neither here nor there. A U.S. Navy destroyer off the coast of the Middle East nation is fitted with the new weapon, which appears to be high-energy laser with integrated optical dazzler and surveillance. Helios, which real quick, high energy laser, HEL, integrated optical, IO, surveillance, S. We don't have anything in there for the dazzler. So it's a laser with surveillance and an optical dazzler. They're just jazz hands, whatever.
That's how it was pitched, too.
Yeah. You want something that'll dazzle? Razzle and dazzle. They go, sold, sir. Sold. I've been thinking our laser surveillance systems are a little too ho-hum.
Lindsey Graham had a say in that.
Oh, my God. It's Lindsey Graham. You can tell he had a say in it because the end is bulbous and it rotates in wide circles. Just for whatever one might use that for. Anyway. Video is released by Central Command Show. The laser is a state-of-the-art device with a steerable head. Oh my god. Okay, Charlie, get it together. Able to... Oh god. Alright. Laser state-of-the-art device with a steerable head, able to concentrate an intense, tightly focused beam of energy to take out drones, according to keen-eyed military watchers. Let's see. Oh. I don't know, Charlie. I think you're wrong. I don't think Lindsey Graham could stick that up his anus. I know you do, but I'm just saying, you know.
Let's get on Polymarket and get a bet going on this.
That would be something like everyone bets like, no way. And he goes, what? I can make some money. One good squat and I'm rich. But I love the ladies too much. All right. Similar videos of the skies over Israel-Lebanon border showed rockets being... Okay, real quick. Just since you had to bring up the best senator ever, Lindsey Graham, who is a proud military veteran. He actually was in the military.
What did he do?
JAG.
Oh.
Yeah. He was a lawyer. He became a judge. And then he retired. He went, I was in the military, guys. I got to wear uniforms and costumes and everything. And there were so many men. And then they let in ladies. But we don't talk about that. But yeah, so with Lebanon. So like we're bombing Iran. We're bombing Iran already. And people are like, what the hell? Like, what are we doing? Like we just went into a country and started bombing it again. Like again on this country, but this is like twice there, but once over there. Like we've invaded another country and bombed it. Or we've incurred, it's been an incursion. We haven't invaded. Mr. Palmer Lucky. But anyway, but Lindsey Graham's sitting there going, listen, Israel needs us to stand with them, and we need to go into Lebanon, and we need to occupy Beirut and Lebanon, and we need to fight alongside Israel for this. This is the most important thing in America. You go, what? What? We haven't even finished with Iran, and you want us to occupy Lebanon? And Israel, for what it's worth, totally capable of handling Lebanon. They've been dealing with Hezbollah forever, And if anything, Hezbollah has less of a grasp on the government over there than they used to because the president or prime minister or whatever he is, like they had a stalemate over the election for like something crazy like 18 months where people are like, I think people are interfering with this election, And finally it shook out, and the guy that won is someone who's actually not a big fan of Hezbollah. He wants to be less Hezbollah and more like, let's have a country that isn't a terrorist nation. Of course, he doesn't control everything, so Hezbollah still has big allies in the, whatever their version of the Department of Defense and Department of War, all that kind of stuff. So, he can't just say bye-bye to Hezbollah, but they're in a weaker position. So anyway, Israel can handle it fine, but like, Lindsey Graham is so crazy about war that he wants us to go and occupy a different... While we're still bombing this... We just started bombing them. It's like, you want us to go 2 places? And just... It's insane to me. What did you think?
Well, the Lebanon thing was just... The fact he chose Lebanon, and I remember what happened, what was it, like 4 years ago? When the storage tanker blew up in the port, and it was odd.
I don't know that I remember this.
It was the port of is Beirut water access? I think it was Beirut. Yeah, I can't remember what they were storing.
Fuel, right?
Fuel. It was. I think
blew up.
It was. I swear it was something in powder form, but
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure. Or maybe it was fertilizer. I don't know what it was. But yeah, it blew up and like decimated the city. Like it was like a nuke going off,
Huh.
but not a nuke.
Right.
And it was just interesting that Lindsey Graham chose Lebanon. Like wait, we're going back to Lebanon?
Well, it's because
Well, not back to Lebanon, but like
going back to Cali.
yeah.
No, it's and part of it was because like after Israel and the United States started bombing over in Iran and doing all stuff in Iran, Hezbollah was like, hey, because they get cash from Iran, and so they started like firing on Israel. So Israel was like, hey, we're gonna go into southern Lebanon. We're gonna they literally were holding certain regions and going like, sorry, we're just gonna hold this so you can't fire on us from here, which I understand. Like as much as I guess just from military or just defending your country kind of state, like regardless of why they're firing. Once people start firing on you, you go, hey, I'm gonna occupy this, and if the other government goes, no, that's our land, you go, it is your land, but unless you're gonna stop people from firing on us from here, we're gonna stop it. And are you the one firing, or is it a splinter? Oh, it's a splinter. Well, we're gonna stop the splinters to help your land. So I get that position, but they're even doing evacuation orders in southern Lebanon. Israel is. They're like, hey, everyone evacuate. We're going to blow it up. I think they said they're going to turn it into basically Gaza.
So it's another land grab then.
It might end up being a land grab. I mean, it's not. They just the something minister, I forget, like finance minister. I think it was something like that. The finance minister, and you go, why is the finance minister talking about military stuff? And I go, self, don't make any jokes about Jewish people and money on this one. Anyway, low hanging fruit. I know, easy, stupid, but no, he was like the finance minister, and he's like, yeah, we're gonna turn into southern Rifah, right? I don't know, but basically Gaza, and you just go, yeah, well, that's not ideal. Like this, as much as like you say Gaza is like an independently governed region, but still your land, but it's independent, so it's like a different place. Like this legitimately is a different country, and like you should not raise their city. You should not do that. I think that would be bad and provoke a response. And I don't think you're in the right if you were to destroy the community in a different country. Like, it's just, you shouldn't do that, Charlie. I think it's a good rule to live by. Is this too bold?
No.
Too bold of a take?
Agree.
Yeah. But yeah, then Lindsey Graham's like, we gotta be there too. And you go, The only thing you can think of is he's thinking, well, if just Israel turns this chunk of the country into Gaza, people might be mad at Israel. But if America's there too, then war on terror is fine. What are you thinking?
I wonder if it's the land grab. I mean, it's obviously a land grab, but I wonder if it's to place more of the Iron Dome / Iron Beam closer to, or I should say, further away from Israel, so that it can intercept sooner.
I mean, time will tell him that. Surely it's not going to be a land grab. Surely it's not going to be a land grab. That would just be such a bold, crazy move. I see your eyebrows, Charlie. I see them. I know. Yep. It's but it would just be such. That'd be so much accelerant. That'd be so much. I'm just until it happens. I'm not saying it's happening. You know. But it does look like how you might prepare a place to take it over. All right, that was just Lindsey Graham. Let's get back to his pleasure craft.
Sure.
All right. Okay, similar videos of the skies over the Israel-Lebanon border show rockets being launched only to explode seconds later. That has been widely but unofficially credited to the Israeli military's new Iron Beam weapon, an advanced laser able to disable rockets and defend territory. Neither the U.S. Navy nor Israeli military have confirmed or denied the use of lasers. However, the Navy said at the beginning of February it had taken out 4 drones in a test of Helios, the Dazzler. During the first 72 hours of battle, 1,700 targets were struck by U.S. forces. Let's see. Over 200 of Iran's ballistic missile launchers have been destroyed. I mean, there's good, if you're going to do it, might as well do it right. And they have been taking out key places. The U.S. precision strikes against missile silos, nuclear facilities, and leaders have been hailed as a huge success with minimal losses on the U.S. and Israeli sides. But not of, I mean, there have been the children. Which, I get being like, there's no way the U.S. meant to bomb a school. And I'll say, I agree. I think it was Israel that dropped it, but we'll just say it wasn't the plan. It was a mistake. But here's my issue. It's like, okay, so everything's super precision. And then like we super missed that bad, and it happened out of all the places we could have missed it, could have gone. We hit a school and killed all these children. And I'm not, I don't want to say, I do not believe the U.S. military would target a school. I guess that's all I got. I don't think they would. But it seems like it seems like a lack of precision and some real bad luck. And I don't know, man. With all these other things where we're dropping, I mean, we can hit a painted airplane on a runway and not affect the other 2 paintings of airplanes. We
got bombs that count floors before they blow up.
Bombs that count floors. That is very true. We've talked about how in Gaza there are no honest brokers. The Palestinians lie. Hamas, they lie. They put living people in body bags. They pretend they didn't fire a rocket when they did. Back before October 7th and all that. Everything's a disinformation campaign. But Israel's not so honest too. Everything that they hit is right and was home of terror, and anything that Hamas hits was totally innocent. And they go, I can't believe they even fire over here. They go, what, you mean next to the missile launcher? You can't believe they fired it's in a neighborhood. You put a missile launcher in a neighborhood? I thought that's what Gaza did, or Palestinians did that, and that's bad to do. You're like, so there's no honest brokers, and that's been the challenge over there. And you have a lot of people on the left super pro Palestine, a lot of people on the right super pro Israel, and then there's a chunk of kind of weird right that is, I'd say anti-Israel and maybe a little bit too trusting of the Arabic side of the argument. So when you have like post October 7th, whatever, however, they have a right to exist. Do they have a right to exist? Israel has a right to exist. Yes, of course. They have a right to exist. seems like they killed a lot of children. Seems like a lot of children got killed. A lot of them. A lot. And you go, well, the Palestinians wouldn't, or Hamas wouldn't let them evacuate. It's like, okay. And so they knew the children were there, you're saying? It's like, well, but they told them not to be there. It's like, but they knew they weren't evacuated, right? It's like, yeah. It's like, and they chose to blow up the building with all the women and children in it. Well, yeah, but they gave them a heads up. It's like, okay, but still, they chose to blow up the building of women and children. It's like, yeah. And so when Israel, the government of Israel, Bibi Netanyahu, more than anybody else, but still, some of the cabinet members and Knesset members, like when they start talking, like, because at least Netanyahu has had media training, he at least saves a lot of the crazy stuff to say in Hebrew, and like and things that aren't heavily televised, especially now that the internet can like translate easily. Some of these other dudes, they while out just publicly. They're like, yeah, we'll kill them all. Kill them all. They're animals. Bunch of swine. You go, that's not ideal, But when you have all these people that talk like that, where you go, hey, they're our enemies. They want us dead. We want them dead. They're just animals, blah, blah, blah. And then you have Iran, who Netanyahu's been trying to get us to overthrow for 27 years or whatever. And then all of a sudden they blow up a school, and you go, I guess it's an accident. Like you say, it's an accident. You go, I guess. I don't know, it's like having that friend you have a friend that's kind of a jerk, right? Like he's your buddy, but like he gets a temper, and you're like, whatever. And then I don't know, there's a big hole in the wall, and he goes, I fell and just, you go, you sure you didn't punch a hole in that wall? He's like, no, I fell in the wall. It was just bad luck. And you go, okay. I mean, I believe you. I can't say otherwise. But everything about this makes me think that you punched a hole in that wall. And that's kind of where I am with this school thing. Like, if it was if this is a purely America thing, I'd say I really don't believe anybody in our military, like brass, would make that command, and I don't think a pilot would do that, I just don't think the number of people that would have to choose to do that. I just don't think in our American military would choose to like just hit a school. I'd like to say I don't think any military out there would, especially like quote unquote Westerners. I'd like to, but that's the thing. I don't think Israeli citizens are these Israeli military, but still the citizens. I don't think they're bloodthirsty, crazy people, But then you see the stuff that happens in Gaza, and it's like maybe just jaded. Your family spends years. You got the sirens. You got to go in the bunker, out of the bunker. You're in the bunker. You're out of the bunker. Bombs do get just lobbed at you. And all these countries, especially Iran, spends all this time talking like dehumanizing things about you, about your children, wipe you from the globe. Like they're constantly talking about this, ending you, your family, your loved ones. Maybe at some point you just become so jaded. You go, all right, well, I don't actually see you. You see me as an animal. Well, I see you as an animal, and I guess we'll just see who eats who first, and with what's happened in Gaza, like after October 7th was just nasty enough, and it was nasty, but it was just nasty enough where it's like, here we come, and then it just kept, and it's just one of those things. That's where I go. They've been waiting 50 years on these bastards. 50 years they've been waiting to go after Iran. Like more than anybody else. Netanyahu and the boys, they've been waiting on this. And I don't know. It's just, I have a harder time believing that accident than if it was just America. And, you know, there could always be some nut in America that does something stupid. I mean, that could happen. But, like, all our stuff's so precision. Like, you know, we mark targets, you know.
They're marked by satellite.
And ground troops. For the 12-day thing, who was marking the targets? Do you remember?
I don't remember who, but yeah, I know it was hand laser guided.
It was Israel.
Oh.
I mean, Israel was on the ground. They marked the targets, and that's, you know, how we got it. They were our on-the-ground intelligence and all that. So it's just, because that could be another thing. You just mark the wrong target by accident, you know? By accident, like, even if it is our missile going in, someone goes, hey, this is where the silo is. And then, you know, up yours. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, to piggyback off that, you know, if it's satellite guided, you know, one could use government malware to redirect the target, and it's still precision. It just looked like it wasn't, you know.
Yeah.
And then I believe one got through like a base, like they got through defensive systems. And we usually send, I think, the strategy is you launch 2 defense missiles in case one misses, and they both missed, and that was weird.
Yeah. I haven't seen a lot about Iran using anything complicated to jam our stuff. I mean, there's also jammers that are older that don't require, you know, complicated stuff. So, I mean, you're right. There is possibilities of, yeah. And I guess there could be
Just the math on it, like the possibility that out of a group of whatever, 20 people, one might be a bad apple.
yeah. And I guess you're right, too. Like, if someone is going from the satellite and they go, it's right there, click, and just misclick, move on, just careless.
Fat fingered it.
Just fat-fingered it.
Oh, God.
But that's what, you know, once you start talking about just dropping missiles indiscriminately on a city, I mean, Tehran is not, you know, it's not the hills of Afghanistan. This is a major city. And so if you're just going to be dropping missiles into it, and somebody's careless, I mean, people are going to get, there's collateral damage all the time. It's just crazy to hit a school. It's just crazy. And I don't know. It's just hard to trust. It's hard to trust Israel. It's hard. Like, when it comes to this stuff, it's just hard to trust them. Like, you know, you got to know the motivations of your friends and your enemies and all that kind of stuff. And like I said, you know, Netanyahu's been wanting to take out Iran for 50 years. Like, he's always keyed up. Anytime the topic comes up, when Trump's been like, I don't know, you know, let's settle down. You can just see that he's just sitting there like he's just sitting there going, I don't want that answer. I want a different answer, but, you know, be calm here. But I'm trying to think of a way to reposition this thing. Like, he wants it. And, like, a lot of people, like we said, a lot of people in the government in Israel they've wanted this. This is a big prize for them. Iran does pay for lots of, you know, Hamas and Hezbollah and, you know, lots of things that are dangerous to Israel are funded by Iran. So it's not like it's a murderous, evil motivation to want to take them out. You know, if you're constantly, their proxies are constantly hitting you. But it is one of those things where you start to go, I just have a hard time believing you when there's an oopsie accident, you know? I guess that's just where I get to. When they go, we didn't mean to destroy all of Gaza and kill all those children. You go, I mean, I guess.
There's not much left.
Yeah, it's like, you kind of blew up everything. You just, by accident? Like, well, they were hiding in there. You know, all of the buildings? They hid in all of the buildings?
Leave no stone unturned.
I mean, for real. For real. It's wild, too, the way, like, on the American side of things, especially, like, on the right, how, I guess, the commentary culture, right? So right now, you know, comic Dave Smith, libertarian guy, he's been growing in popularity, and people are taking shots at him now, I guess. He is not a big fan of Israel. He's not a big fan of what they've done with Palestine. You know, like specifically, not just Israel, like what they've done with Palestine. And he's Jewish. You know, he's not. He's not Nick Fuentes or something. And but like, so people take shots at him. But like, you got Mark Levin, you got Ben Shapiro, you got these kind of big names out there. And I guess I understand, like, if you're like a deeply religious Jewish person, that you would, I understand why you would like have, like, hold Israel in a special place. You know, even our very Catholic delivery driver, she went over to Jerusalem to see, where the stations of the cross were with Jesus and all this kind of stuff, and all these like historic sites that are mentioned in the Bible. And she came back just glowing and so happy. And I get it. Muslims have like Mecca, Medina, and all that. And so you got these sites that are very important. And so I can understand having that sort of like that sort of love or protective kind of thing about this area, this land. But we're talking about a government, and we're not talking about the citizens either. We're talking about a government. 'Cause, like, I don't know, 10 years ago or whatever, we had this big art show that came over from Israel, and we had a couple of artists there, and they talked about living in Tel Aviv and talked about living in Jerusalem, just all this, like interacting, and how, Israel, like the population, you got Christians and Muslims and all these people and all that. And it's very, cities are a lot like New York City and all this kind of stuff. Very, just very normal Western, whatever. No one's attacking, not no one, but most people are not attacking Israelis or Jewish people. It's a government, it's a government. And to watch how, like, any criticism, especially like when children die, right? And to watch like any criticism of the government of Israel for their actions on a purely just non-emotional, like, they took this action, I think this action is wrong. Like, you can say that about the American government all day long. You can say it about Canada, England. Like, I mean, people are talking about all these governments all day long. But you say anything about Israel, and suddenly it's like you're a Nazi. It's like it's like the left would do. You're a Nazi. You're Nazi. And I was going to say, it seems to be mainly like Jewish commentators on the right, but then, I mean, the actual Frankenstein monster that is Fetterman, and just say Frankenstein monster. Like. That's him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's Fetterman. But he's, so he's a Democrat. He's kind of into socialism, all that. But he also loves Israel and Netanyahu and all the stuff. That the only time he's ever worn a suit was when Netanyahu came in. And like, that's where you start going, well, hold on now. I get having an affinity for this land. I get having an affinity for even a culture, a history, a shared whatever, But this politician from this country comes over, and suddenly you put on big boy clothes, you get out your funeral suit, and you go, I'm a very respectful person now. And you're like, what? Like, what is this? What is this?
You're a slob any other day.
Every other day. Every other day he's in a hoodie. And it's just like this one time you go, well, what? I don't understand this. It's like, I could, if he was going out to Israel, going to a holy site, and he wore a suit, wore a yarmulke, all that stuff, I go, I get this. He wants to show deference to this location. This is some scumbag politician. Like, this is a scumbag politician that's coming here to talk to you, and you go, well, gotta dress up for baby. Like, is it just AIPAC money? And you can't say that either. If you say, well, it's AIPAC money, they go, oh yeah, because Jews and money. You go, no, AIPAC spends tons of money. The Ellisons spend tons of money. And
AIPAC called him and was like, put on a suit.
I mean, maybe. It's just wild. It's wild. I don't know. The influence is crazy, but we start talking about the influence, everyone goes, "Oh, you're a Nazi," and like it's crazy watching Jewish people being called Nazis by other Jewish people. It's very odd because it's one of those things too. Because everybody remembers like peak wokeness, peak cancel culture, and I guess you could compare it kind of to black people calling other black people like Uncle Tom or something. It's kind of like that, but it's kind of different in that the Nazis did this thing with Jewish people that was, we'll call it, less than ideal. And they murdered a ton of them. A lot of them. I don't know if you've heard about this. Have you read about this?
I have heard of it, yes.
Yeah. And so a lot of it happened. There's gas chambers. There was all sorts of ways. Starvation. People took pictures. And so it just seems odd for a Jewish person to turn to another Jewish person who's simply saying, I don't think the government of Israel should kill all the children also in Israel, but that we're kind of calling Palestine right now, but is still owned by Israel. All those children that live in that part of Israel, I don't think the government of Israel should kill them. They go, hey, you're exactly like Adolf Hitler. And you go, I don't I'm a cookie dough white boy. Like, if Jewish people could call Jewish people Nazis, I've got a German last name, Charlie. I don't stand a chance. Anyway, we got way off topic. Okay, so anyway, we got cool technology. We've been doing we got laser beams. We were shooting stuff from space. We're tracking missiles with satellites. And as soon as they launch, we see them from the middle of the desert. We strike them with missiles from the ground. Yeah, we got malware that apparently we led with, where we took out their communication systems and everything. We're doing cool things. Let's see. I want to find out. Of course, we're arming the Kurds, which means we're about to abandon them because that's what we like to do. Oh, maybe we'll listen. Okay, so we'll get to this thing. It'll be kind of fun. So, a British base. So Britain was like, hey, we're really not thinking about jumping into this thing. They go, we're not jumping in, And so everyone, okay, fine. And, Iran was shooting lots of missiles off in every different direction, like we talked about. And so this is a little report. I don't know the source. Hopefully it's not AI. I didn't see any community notes on this. But let's listen to this British woman talk about some stuff.
Let's just update you with some of the latest information that we're getting from the Ministry of Defence, and this is about UK military use around the Gulf. We're hearing overnight RAF Typhoon and F-35B jets continue defensive air operations across the Middle East with support from Voyager air-to-air refuelling in defence of British interests and allies. Important, I think, that the word defensive operations and defence is included in that.
Please do not attack our things.
As Keir Starmer's made it very clear, that is what UK troops are doing, defensive operations only. They can also confirm that a Shaheed-like drone...
What kind of operations are they doing? Was it offense? I don't remember.
Defensive.
Oh, interesting.
Which targeted RAF Akrotiri on the 2nd of March. That was the drone that came in at midnight. They are saying that that was not launched from Iran. So that is interesting and significant. They are not giving us any information as yet as to where they think that was launched from. But a drone that hit RAF Akrotiri, that was the one I think that caused damage to the airstrip, did not come from Iran, was not launched from Iran, obviously may well have come via Iran. And in the last 24 hours, the UK has resupplied air defence systems to British and Allied bases across the region, including UK-built air defence missiles, and that Royal Navy Wildcat helicopters armed with Martlet missiles capable of taking out.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that is something interesting that places do now. They just have glass walls. They go, walk by, you'll be on TV. Well, okay. It's like, you just better hope you don't have anybody that's about to quit working for you, Just some, pasty, pudgy British guy just goes walking by, just butt naked. Just like, doop, do. Or even God Save the Queen written on his cheeks, and, I guess king these days. But anyway, so it's a bit interesting. And they go, it's a Shahed-like drone or missile or what happened. So they go, it's similar to something we might see from Iran. It's not the same, which means to me when they go, it's like this, you go, well, that means it's not that, right? Because if it was that, you would just say it was that, They go, it was like it, all right. They go, it wasn't fired from Iran, all right. Hey, pull up Google Maps and let's pull up Cyprus on Google Maps here. That's okay, Charlie. This is why you're not invited to the tea party, but that's okay. Not in the political sense. I host tea parties, but not for people that don't know how to use Google Maps. Just type in Cyprus and the whole thing. Come on, what are you doing here? This is why you're not there. Put it in here. Yeah. You're definitely not invited to the tea party now. Cypress Hill 3 times. Come on. All right. So, let's pop it up here. So, here's a little site. Come on. Nah, shoot. Okay, so here's Cyprus right in the middle of the Wawa. And there's Israel down here. And there's Lebanon, of course. Jordan, Syria, Iraq. Saudi Arabia. So Iran's over there. It would take they'd have to go over Iraq, over Syria, or at least over Turkey to get to Cyprus. But of course, they're also sort of bombing these places. So you go, it makes sense not to go from there. So you could say, perhaps, Hezbollah, get out of here, is shooting stuff from Lebanon to Cyprus. That's the closest landmass. But you do wonder if anybody's trying to recruit more participation in this endeavor. And one way that people get involved in wars in the Middle East, I don't know if you know this, is when they get attacked on their own land. Sometimes you're just minding your own business and you get a couple attacks into like towers and stuff, and then you get into a 20-year war in the Middle East and you end up toppling a bunch of different countries that are all, unfriendly to you and a friend of yours. So, and Syria's got some jerks there too. But some people have wondered if maybe it was quote unquote friendly fire in order to encourage a more active participation. Huh. Yeah.
What a weird strategy.
Also the time, so just not on this necessarily, but I'll go back. But yeah, it is one of those things where you go, well, they wouldn't do that. I mean, maybe in 2001, do you think maybe somebody might have done that? I don't know. It's hard to say. But what was didn't this attack start like on a blood moon during, what's it called? Purim? Or is that what it's called?
Purim.
Yeah, is that what it?
Yeah.
And isn't that like, what is Purim?
It's been a minute.
Okay. But it has something to do. Here, hold on. Let's just look it up real quick because I think it makes it very interesting. That is not it. That is an automotive thing. I'm probably misspelling it. All right. It's a joyous Jewish holiday celebrating the salvation of the Jewish people in ancient Persia. Persia is now known as Iran. So the salvation of the Jewish people in ancient Persia from Haman's plot to destroy them. As told in the book of Esther, observed on the 14th day of Adar, so March 2nd and 3rd this year. Marked by costumes, feasting, and reading of stuff. So, we don't need to read the whole thing. But either way, so it's a holiday talking about how Persia, now known as Iran, was trying to wipe out the Jewish people and the Jewish people overcame. And we timed our attack with a holiday and a blood moon. And then it had to be then. It had to be then. Which is odd to me. And they go, well, hey, plus or minus a day. You go, okay.
Not for Poly Market.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah. But I don't know. It's just one of those other things when they talk about, like, why did it have to be right now? And then you go, well, there's this. Because it was, I guess, technically well, I don't know. That's over here. It could have been the first. It could have been technically the second. Or did it happen on the 28th? Whatever. Either way, you're with it. We're within the time. You know? It just seems coincidental to launch an attack on former Persia during the holiday celebrating defeating Persia from their attack on you. It's just, there's too much symbolism. There's too much there to go, oh, that was just a coincidence. It's like, that's a hell of a coincidence. It's a hell of a coincidence. It'd be one thing if it was like Boxing Day in Canada, and you go, well, I don't know. Who even knows what Boxing Day is, you know? Or like some obscure holiday, but it's, it wasn't an obscure holiday, you know? And people were celebrating. I heard that in Jerusalem and stuff, like, or in Tel Aviv and all this, like, people were wearing their costumes, and if they basically were partying on the streets, and then if the sirens went, they'd go down the shelters and party in the shelters and keep going back up, and so they were having a good time. Which is good. You know, enjoy your holiday. But it just seems, once again, just too much coincidence, especially a blood moon. It's crazy. I don't know if that has any significance on the holiday at all, or maybe the original book. Let's see in Esther.
I won't get into my theories.
Uh-oh. What, let's see, significance.
Well,
How crazy is it?
just odd that Iran was burning a statue of Baal days before we launched the attack.
Were they?
Yeah.
Has that been, like, photographed or anything?
Yeah.
Let's see. A rare blood moon, coinciding with Purim, is interpreted in Jewish tradition as a powerful omen signaling the impending downfall of the wicked and divine protection for Israel. Okay. Historically linked to the deliverance of Persia, this celestial event is seen as a sign to pray for peace, justice, and the end of current conflicts. Okay, well, that worked. All right.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It is. I mean, it's a symbol within a symbol. Yes.
Yeah, so it's just a lot there. You know, it wasn't a week later. It wasn't a week earlier. It wasn't 2 weeks later. 2 weeks it would have had a nuclear weapon. I get it. But, like, I don't know. This whole thing's screwy. I don't know. We're doing it. And we'll just, I guess, keep doing it until... I mean, surely we're going to install somebody. We keep acting like we're not doing a regime change, but we sure look like we're changing a regime. So, I don't know. Guess we'll just see what happens from here and hope that it doesn't bite us in the butt horribly and we don't get locked into a 20-year Middle Eastern war. Or worse. I don't know. This just seemed not time sensitive. I guess that's my review of the attack in Iran. It doesn't seem as time sensitive as they made it seem. I'm wondering if all of this isn't just about undermining fuel supplies for China. Venezuela, Iran, that's 16% of the fuel of China. Who knows what we do next? But funny little thing. If we just happen... Because you know how all that fraud with Minnesota and the Somali community, and a lot of it's going back to Boko Haram, or was it Boko Haram? Is that their people? Whatever. We're going back to the terrorists. Let's say that we use the terrorism over there and the stealing of U.S. money as a reason to go into Somalia and take them out, right? And like kind of make that government more friendly. At that point, we will have taken out all 7 nations in one way or another. Like all 7 nations that were on the list of the 7 nations to take out in 5 years, that theoretically was going to be term 2 of George H.W. Bush, and then had to wait till George W. Bush got in and post 9/11 to kick it off. Made popular by Wesley Clark. Anyway, it will be complete. Like they're the last one. There's been political overthrow of a couple candidates. There's been us doing some stuff officially, and then even in Lebanon, this guy that just took power, he's technically more friendly. He hasn't fixed anything, but technically he's a change of direction. So like leadership has changed in 6 of the 7 at this point, with Somalia being the last one. And it does seem like we might have an excuse. So just something to keep an eye on. Let's see if we go after anybody else that has anything to do with providing oil to China. And let's see if we go into Somalia. So my prediction is yes to both. Frank Stradamus. You got it. Polymarket away. Not actual advice. Do not invest based on anything we say, including Goybeam, the only true equity one can own in the Jewish space laser industry. Okay, what do you got for the people?
Well, the Grok fact of the day is Grok is down
Okay.
on this day.
Really?
In 2026, I get no responses from Grok.
That's crazy. Well,
In the app, at least.
the Grok app is
Yeah,
Twitter.
the Grok app.
Well, Grok fact of the day is he hates Charlie.
Apparently.
But you don't have to. You can like and subscribe and set alerts. We're on the Rumbles, the Twitters. That's another thing where we have video. The YouTubes, the Spotifys. Do it on the iTunes. Do it all over the place. Do it with your family. It's okay. It's just listening to a podcast. Don't get dirty. It's normal. You don't have to be Lindsey Graham about it. Pull that thing out your butt. We'll see you later.